Our top story tonight, leaders in Hampton are all ears. They invited the public to a citywide meeting after a deadly shooting near last weekend's carnival. 16-year-old Raphael Davis Jr. died and 4 other teens were hit by the bullets. That prompted members of Hampton City Council, the mayor, city manager, and the police chief to hold this meeting at the youth center on Thomas Street. That's where we find 10 on your side's Lauren Compton. And Lauren, did many citizens turn out today?
And this was a very large and vocal turnout today at this community center. Several people brought their children and they had a lot of suggestions on how to deal with this issue of youth violence. And it's an issue that 10 on your side has to report on a lot in the Hampton Roads area. This meeting was led by City Councilman Will Moffitt. He started the meeting by saying this is not about placing blame or attacking anyone. He said this meeting is about discussing the issue of youth violence and finding ways to combat it. It's a problem, he says, that won't change overnight, in a couple of weeks, or in a few months. But by talking about it as a community, that's when the change can begin. Several city leaders were there, he said, just to listen to residents and hear what they had to say. And a lot of them gave a lot of their concerns and suggestions about dealing with this issue of youth violence.
I'm fighting for my grandchildren. I'm fighting for your children and your grandchildren. And if I have to stand up on this wall by myself, I don't matter.
And let's put together some incentives, such as instead of shooting each other, how about we establish a paintball field so they can vent that way and the community support the endeavor? How about we have a basketball game where the games compete on the court and the community support the endeavor?
And that was one of many suggestions offered here today, and there was a lot of discussion on how to deal with gang violence. Now Councilman Will Moffitt says something will come from this meeting. Several people signed up for a community-based program that will look at addressing this issue. When I asked Councilman Moffitt what would that group look like, he said it would be a group that links together other organizations and foundations that are reached out to young people who are on the streets maybe too long. He also said that this group would reach into the Newport News area because that also is a city in the Hampton Roads area that struggles with youth violence. Reporting live in Hampton, Lauren Compton, 10 on your side.